The stars above the Andromeda sector shone like scattered diamonds across the black velvet of space. Captain Alara Hayes stood on the bridge of the starship Aurora, her hands resting lightly on the rail as she stared at the alien fleet appearing on the scanner. For years, humans had only dreamed of meeting other intelligent life, and now it was happening. The fleet was enormous, sleek, and unfamiliar. The ships glimmered with a strange blue-green hue, moving with precision that human technology had not yet matched. Ilara's heart raced. This was the moment humanity had prepared for, and yet nothing could erase the anxiety gripping her chest. Captain, the Arvani fleet is holding formation. They are observing us, said Lieutenant Raj Patel, her second-in-command, eyes wide as he watched the screens. Ilara nodded. Keep the shield steady. We don't know their intent yet. Open communications. The voice that came through was unlike anything Ilara had ever heard. It was smooth and musical, almost like a song in its tone, yet the words were clear in their translation. Humans. We are the Arvani. State your purpose. Ilara straightened. This is Captain Alara Hayes of the United Earth Federation. We come in peace. We seek knowledge and friendship. There was a brief pause, then a slight vibration passed through the Aurora, as if the aliens were testing the humans' sincerity. A holographic figure appeared above the communication console, tall and regal, with skin that shimmered faintly like liquid silver. Its eyes were large, dark, and intelligent, reflecting both curiosity and caution. I am Commander Kale of the Arvani fleet, the figure said. His voice carried authority, yet there was a hint of something softer, something almost human. Ilara felt her pulse quicken. She had heard reports about Arvani leaders. They were strict, disciplined, and loyal to their code above all else. But there was a calm presence in Kale that drew her attention. We welcome you to our sector, Commander Kale, Ilara replied. We hope we can establish a dialogue that benefits both our peoples. Kale inclined his head slightly. Your words are noted, Captain Hayes. Actions will speak louder. Before the exchange could continue, alarms blared across the Aurora. On the scanner, a small fleet of unmarked ships emerged from a nearby asteroid field. They were fast, aggressive, and heavily armed. Pirates, acting without allegiance to anyone. Ilara cursed under her breath. All hands, battle stations, these are hostiles. Shields up! Kyle's holographic image appeared again. Humans, it seems we share a common enemy. Cooperation is advisable. Ilara hesitated, then nodded. Agreed. The next hour was a blur of laser fire and maneuvers that tested both fleets. The pirates were cunning, darting between asteroids, trying to split the human and Arvani ships. But with coordination, the two fleets began to cover each other's weaknesses. Humans provided daring tactical strikes, while Arvani ships used advanced shielding and precision weapons. Ilara found herself working closely with Kyle, their strategies almost synchronizing without direct orders. At one point, Kale's voice came through the comms in a calm, measured tone. Captain Hayes, veer starboard 30 degrees. Your trajectory is too close to the asteroid belt. You risk destruction. Ilara grinned despite the tension. Acknowledged, Commander. Adjusting now. Through the chaos, something unexpected happened. Kale's ship took the brunt of an attack, and Ilara noticed a chance to save him. Raj, prepare the auxiliary beams. We're pulling him out of A. There! The maneuver was dangerous, but Ilara executed it with precision. The Aurora's beams locked onto Kale's ship, pulling it just out of harm's way. Kale's holographic image flickered briefly before stabilizing, and he said, almost softly, Your humanity is remarkable, Captain Hayes. The pirates, realizing they were outmatched, retreated into the asteroid field. Both fleets breathed a collective sigh of relief. Alara slumped in her chair, exhausted but exhilarated. She looked at Kale's image, which now had a faint shimmer of what she could only interpret as approval. "Commander, it seems we make a good team." Kyle tilted his head. "Perhaps, but trust must be earned. One successful battle does not define alliance." Ilara smiled. "Fair enough, but it is a start." For the first time since their meeting, there was a brief moment of silence, both leaders contemplating the other. Kale's presence was strong, commanding, yet she could sense a hidden curiosity and even admiration. For her part, Alara felt a strange connection she could not explain, a pull toward this being who was so alien and yet so understandable in his honor and courage. "Captain Hayes," Kyle said, breaking the quiet, "we will need to establish protocols for future interaction. Your people are unpredictable, but promising." Ilara chuckled lightly. "I'll take that as a compliment, Commander." The two fleets settled into a cautious formation near the edge of the sector, scanning for further threats. Ilara knew this was only the beginning. First contact was never simple, and the complexities of interstellar diplomacy were just unfolding. Yet amid the fear and uncertainty, a spark of something new had appeared, an unspoken understanding between two leaders, a connection that went beyond duty. As the stars stretched endlessly into the void, Ilara allowed herself a brief moment of hope. Perhaps humanity could not only survive among the stars, but also make allies in places where they had once only feared. And perhaps, perhaps among these stars, bonds stronger than duty or law could begin to form. The human and Arvani fleets lingered near the edge of the Andromeda sector, a fragile peace holding after the pirate attack. The Aurora hummed quietly, its crew still tense from the skirmish. Captain Ilara Hayes moved among her officers, offering brief smiles and nods, but her mind kept returning to Commander Kale. Kale's presence was impossible to ignore. Even through the communication hologram, his posture radiated confidence and authority. Yet in moments of calm, she glimpsed something softer in him, a curiosity about humans, perhaps even a hint of respect, or something more. "Captain, sensors. Detect unusual activity on a nearby asteroid field," Lieutenant Raj Patel reported. "It may be a rogue Arvani faction. They are not responding to standard Arvani codes." Ilara frowned. "Could they pose a threat?" Raj shook his head. "Unknown, ma'am, but they are armed." Ilara made her decision quickly. "Kyle, we need to assess this together. If rogue elements attack, we cannot risk a second conflict." Kale appeared on the comm screen almost instantly. "Agreed. We will proceed carefully. Trust is essential." The word lingered in Alara's mind. Trust. It was not something humans often granted easily, yet she felt an unexpected confidence in him. As the fleets approached the asteroid field, the rogue Arvani ships emerged from hiding. Unlike the disciplined Arvani fleet, these ships moved erratically, firing indiscriminately. "Raj, prepare defensive maneuvers. Keep our shields stable," Ilara commanded. Kale's voice was calm, precise. "Maintain formation, Captain. They will test our reaction, but patience will be your ally." Ilara followed his instructions, guiding the Aurora through the swirling rocks. The rogue ships attempted to split their forces, but humans and loyal Arvani worked together seamlessly. After several tense minutes, the rogue ships retreated into a deep crevice in the asteroid field, leaving both fleets intact. "Another crisis. Averted," Ilara said quietly, feeling a mix of relief and exhaustion. Kale's holographic form shimmered slightly. "You handled it well, Captain Hayes. You think quickly and act decisively. Few humans possess such composure in battle." Ilara felt heat rise to her cheeks. "Thank you, Commander. Your guidance helped." There was a brief silence. Then Kyle said softly, almost to himself, "Humans, unpredictable, yet admirable. Ilara's heart skipped. She knew she had heard something more personal in his tone. She glanced at the comm console, debating whether to respond. "Admirable?" she asked carefully. Kale's gaze seemed to hold hers through the hologram. "Yes. You show courage, empathy, and something else. A quality rare among Arvani and humans alike." Ilara swallowed hard. She could feel the pull of something stronger than professional respect. But she reminded herself of duty. She was a captain, a diplomat. Emotions had no place here. Over the next few days, the two fleets established temporary cooperation protocols. Humans shared tactical strategies. Arvani provided technology and training. During meetings, Kale and Ilara often found themselves speaking alone, away from other officers, exchanging ideas about strategy, ethics, and the future of their civilizations. One evening, after a long day of planning, Kale remained on the observation deck of his ship while Ilara floated nearby in a small shuttle. "You speak of humanity with warmth," Kale said quietly. "Many Arvani fear humans. They see only chaos." Ilara looked at him, surprised by the honesty. "Some humans are reckless, yes, but I have seen courage too, and kindness. Not all of us are defined by mistakes." Kale's large eyes studied her. "You speak with conviction. It is compelling." Ilara felt her pulse quicken. She had trained herself to remain composed, but the intensity of Kale's gaze made it difficult. She looked away for a moment, taking a deep breath. "We both serve our people. That is what matters. Personal feelings cannot interfere." Kale nodded slowly, but the sadness in his eyes betrayed him. "Duty. Always duty. Yet sometimes I wonder what it would be like if we were not bound by it." Ilara's chest tightened. She felt the same question pressing against her heart. She wanted to speak, to say the words she knew could never be spoken aloud. Instead, she remained silent. The next day, tensions rose again. Scouts reported unusual energy readings from a nearby nebula. The readings suggested a potentially hazardous anomaly, one that could threaten both fleets if left unchecked. Ilara and Kale led a joint reconnaissance mission, flying small ships into the swirling clouds of gas and charged particles. The anomaly pulsed unpredictably, shaking their vessels and challenging their coordination. During the mission, Kale's instincts were precise. "Captain Hayes, reduce speed. The plasma field is destabilizing ahead. Follow my lead." Ilara obeyed, trusting him completely. They maneuvered through the nebula, avoiding unstable energy bursts and collapsing debris. Working together, they mapped a safe path and neutralized a minor hazard, proving once more the value of cooperation. After returning to their fleets, Kyle's hologram flickered softly. "You are fearless, Captain. And yet, you value life above. All that is rare among humans and Arvani alike." Ilara felt a lump in her throat. She wanted to tell him she admired him too, that she felt connected to him in ways she could not explain. But the words caught in her throat. Duty, protocol, and the impossibility of their culture's laws kept her silent. That night, as the stars stretched across the void, Ilara found herself gazing at the faint shimmer of the Arvani fleet in the distance. She remembered Kale's soft words and wondered if he too felt the tension between duty and desire. In a quiet moment, Kale murmured to himself, unaware that Ilara could hear through the comm channel. "If only we could marry, human." Ilara froze, her heart racing. Those words, meant as a private thought, hung in the darkness of space. She did not reply. She could not. But inside, a spark of hope, fear, and longing took root. Both leaders knew the future was uncertain. Both understood the weight of duty pressing on them. Yet, for the first time, they also realized that among the stars, something profound had begun, a connection that might defy laws, cultures, and expectations, and for humans and Arvani alike, the story of cooperation, courage, and trust was only beginning. The Andromeda sector was quiet, but the calm was deceptive. Captain Ilara Hayes floated in the observation bay of the Aurora, watching the stars swirl past. The nebula they had navigated days ago was now a glowing tapestry of energy, beautiful, yet dangerous. Her thoughts, however, were not on the stars, but on Commander Kale. Kale had become a constant presence in her life, even at a distance. His advice, guidance, and subtle humor lingered in her mind. She could not deny that a strange bond was forming, one that went beyond duty or professional respect. The communication console beeped. It was Kale. Captain Hayes, there is unusual activity on a remote planet within this sector. I recommend a joint survey. It may be hazardous, but it is within our capabilities to investigate safely. Ilara leaned forward. A joint survey? I agree. We can assemble a small team, but Kale, it will be risky. Kale's holographic eyes met hers. I trust your judgment. You have proved yourself capable of handling risks that others would avoid. Ilara's chest tightened. She trusted him too, more than she had ever trusted anyone beyond her crew. Then we do this together, she said. A small fleet of human and Arvani ships descended toward the planet. Its surface was rough, filled with jagged mountains and deep, winding valleys. Sensors picked up strange energy readings, fluctuating unpredictably. Keep your eyes open, Kyle instructed. This anomaly could be natural or it could be artificially created. As they landed, Ilara and Kale led their teams through the rugged terrain. The atmosphere was thin, and the air carried a faint electric charge that made their hair stand on end. Strange lights danced across the mountains, illuminating the path ahead. This is incredible, Ilara said, looking around. I've never seen anything like it. Kale's eyes scanned the horizon carefully. Incredible and dangerous. Stay alert. Trust each other and trust the teams. Hours passed as they explored, collecting samples and analyzing the energy fluctuations. They shared stories of home, past missions, and the ideals that had driven them to this point. Kyle spoke of Arvani culture, of duty, honor, and the laws that bound him. Ilara spoke of Earth, of humanity's imperfections and its courage. You are different from the humans I expected, Kyle said quietly, almost to himself. You are disciplined, yet compassionate, brave, yet careful. Few could survive in space and retain such balance. Ilara felt warmth spread across her face. Thank you, Commander. That means a lot coming from you. They walked together along the edge of a cliff, the alien sun casting long shadows behind them. Kyle's presence was commanding, yet she felt comfortable beside him, as if the years of training and protocol had melted away. Suddenly, the ground beneath them trembled. The energy readings spiked, and a loud roar echoed through the valley. A massive rock slide had been triggered by the anomaly. Ilara, move! Kale shouted, grabbing her hand and pulling her out of the way. They rolled to safety, dust filling the air. Around them, the team struggled to find cover, but Kale's precise commands guided everyone. Within moments, the danger had passed, leaving only the hum of energy and the scent of dust. Breathing heavily, Ilara looked at Kyle. We made it, Kyle nodded, though his expression was tight. Yes, but this place, it tests more than skill. It tests trust. Ilara's heart raced. Trust was exactly what they had built, silently, over the past days. Trust that had grown into something stronger, something forbidden. That night, as the teams camped under the alien stars, Ilara and Kale sat apart from everyone, reviewing data and analyzing the anomaly. The conversation turned quiet, personal. Captain Hayes, Kyle said, his voice lower than usual. "I have not spoken like this to anyone. I value your presence. More than is reasonable, perhaps." Ilara's breath caught. She had felt the same way, but had never dared speak it aloud. "Kyle, I feel it too. But we cannot act on it. Our peoples, our laws." Kale's eyes softened. "I know. And yet, when I am with you, I feel something impossible to ignore. A bond that should not exist, but does." They sat in silence, listening to the alien winds. The impossible was becoming real in their hearts. Both understood the danger, both understood the impossibility, and yet neither could deny the connection growing stronger. The following day, new intelligence arrived. Sensors picked up movement from a hidden faction of humans working with rogue Arvani. They sought to exploit the anomaly's energy for personal gain, threatening both fleets. Ilara and Kale exchanged a quick glance. "We must stop them," Ilara said firmly. Kale nodded. "Together. Trust is our greatest weapon now." They devised a careful plan to intercept the rogue faction, using both human ingenuity and Arvani technology. The mission was delicate. Stealth, timing, and coordination were critical. During the operation, Ilara found herself relying on Kale's instincts more than ever. He anticipated dangers she could not see, guided the team through treacherous terrain, and offered silent encouragement at every step. In turn, Kale respected her quick thinking and courage, often whispering instructions that saved their mission. By the time the rogue faction was neutralized, both fleets had avoided casualties, and the anomaly remained stable. Their success was quiet, yet profound. Humans and Arvani had worked together, proving that cooperation and trust could overcome fear and division. Later, as the sun set over the alien landscape, Kyle turned to Ilara. "Captain Hayes, this partnership, this trust, it is rare, perhaps unique. I have learned much from you." Ilara smiled faintly, feeling her heart lift. "And I from you, Commander. I have never met anyone like you. Not human, not alien." Kyle's gaze lingered, full of unspoken words. For a moment, the laws, the duties, the impossible barriers between them seemed to fade. But reality returned quickly. Both leaders knew the truth. Their bond could not be acted upon openly. Still, the spark had been lit. And in that quiet moment, under alien stars, they both understood that something extraordinary was beginning. A connection that could shape the future of both their peoples. As they returned to their ships side by side, neither spoke of marriage, of love, or of what could never be. Yet, deep inside, each carried the memory of that silent promise, a hope that duty and desire might one day find a way to coexist. And in the vast, starlit expanse of Andromeda, the story of humans and Arvani, of courage, trust, and the first hints of forbidden connection, continued to unfold. The joint human-Arvani fleet had returned to the edge of the Andromeda sector, but peace was fleeting. Captain Ilara Hayes stood on the bridge of the Aurora, staring at the holographic map. A hidden planet had been detected, its energy readings unlike anything they had encountered before. "Commander Kale," Ilara said, voice steady but tinged with concern. "These readings are massive. If what we think is correct, this planet could hold a weapon or a source of energy beyond anything we've seen." Kyle's hologram shimmered beside her. His posture was rigid, but his eyes betrayed worry. "Yes, and I suspect it is not natural. Extremists, human or Arvani, may try to claim it. We must prevent that." Ilara nodded. "Then we act together. Trust is our greatest weapon." The fleet moved toward the planet cautiously. Its surface was jagged and scarred, as if ancient battles had left their mark. Swirling clouds of green and purple energy covered the atmosphere, casting an eerie light on everything below. Sensors indicate structures beneath the surface, Kale said. Artificial, yet ancient. Possibly built by a civilization long gone. Ilara frowned. Then this planet is a risk for both our peoples. We cannot allow it to fall into the wrong hands. As their teams prepared to descend, Kale spoke privately through the comm. Captain Hayes, your presence here is vital. I need your judgment and your courage. Ilara felt her chest tighten. Every word from him seemed to stir something deep within her. I'm here because I trust you, Kale, and because duty demands it. Their small exploration ships descended into the planet's atmosphere. The wind howled, electrical storms crackling around them. The landing zones were unstable, and every movement required precision. As they navigated the treacherous terrain, strange symbols appeared on the walls of caverns they passed. The symbols glowed faintly, illuminating paths that twisted unpredictably. Kyle studied them closely. These markings, they warn of danger, but they also indicate something of value, something that could threaten both humans and Arvani if misused. Ilara followed him, her heart racing. She trusted Kale's instincts more than any instrument. Then we proceed carefully, together. Hours passed as they moved deeper into the planet. The anomaly's energy pulsed violently, causing minor tremors and shifting the walls around them. At one point, a massive stone slab fell, blocking the path forward. Kale immediately calculated the safest way to move it, while Ilara coordinated her team to clear debris without triggering further collapse. This is more than a test of strength, Kale said quietly, almost to himself. It is a test of trust, of loyalty, of courage. Ilara felt a shiver run through her. He spoke as if the challenge was personal, as if their connection mattered as much as the mission itself. Suddenly, an explosion rocked the cavern. A rogue faction of humans and Arvani extremists had infiltrated the planet, hoping to claim the energy source for themselves. "Prepare for combat!" Ilara shouted. Her team engaged the extremists with precise coordination. Human ingenuity meeting. Arvani technology. Kale moved alongside her, his combat skills unmatched. Every maneuver he suggested was accurate, saving lives and guiding their teams through chaos. During a particularly fierce moment, Kale dove to shield Ilara from an energy blast. She felt his strength and bravery in a way that made her heart race. Not fear, but awe. Once the skirmish ended, they regrouped, surveying the aftermath. The energy source was intact, but the extremists were gone, leaving only warning signs and evidence of their greed. Kyle turned to Ilara. "You are remarkable. Even in battle, your mind remains sharp. Your courage inspires." Ilara felt warmth spread through her. "And you are extraordinary, Kale. I've never worked with anyone like you." For a brief moment, the world seemed to stop. They stood among alien stones and glowing symbols, surrounded by the power of an ancient civilization. And yet the most profound force between them was something neither could name aloud. The planet's energy pulsed again, stronger this time. Sensors indicated that the anomalies were growing unstable. Ilara realized that they needed to neutralize the energy before it became uncontrollable. "Kale, we have to act," she said. "If we delay, the planet itself could be destroyed, along with anyone nearby." Kale nodded. "Agreed. But we must work as one. Trust in me as I trust in you." They coordinated a careful procedure, using both human ingenuity and Arvani technology. Ilara manipulated complex controls, while Kale calculated energy dispersals with precision. The storm of power raged around them, yet their teamwork remained flawless. When the final pulse of energy was safely absorbed and neutralized, they both collapsed slightly, breathing heavily. The cavern was quiet, save for the faint hum of the planet's residual energy. Kale looked at Alara with intensity. We have succeeded, but it has come at a cost, not in lives but in choices. We both know the rules that bind us. Yet here, now I feel something I cannot ignore. Ilara's heart raced. She understood perfectly. Kyle, I feel it too, but we cannot act on it. Our cultures, our laws. He reached out, hesitating, then withdrew his hand. I know. Duty is paramount. And yet, I cannot forget. Nor can I deny it. They stood together in silence, the alien stars shining through cracks in the cavern's ceiling. Both knew that their bond, impossible as it seemed, had grown stronger through shared danger, trust, and respect. As they returned to the fleet, their minds were filled with the enormity of the mission's success and the impossible feelings that had taken root between them. The universe around them was vast and dangerous, yet in each other they had found a connection rare among all the stars. Alara glanced at Kale's hologram, floating beside her. We have prevented disaster, but the future, it is uncertain. Kale's gaze met hers. Yes, but we face it together, and that is enough for now. The fleet moved away from the planet, leaving the glowing anomalies behind. But in the hearts of humans and Arvani alike, a story of courage, trust, and the beginning of forbidden connection continued, one that would challenge duty, test loyalty, and shape the future of two civilizations, bound by more than fear or law. The silence of space pressed against the hull of the Aurora as Captain Ilara Hayes reviewed the latest scans. The anomaly planet was behind them, but its impact lingered. Sensors now detected traces of a massive energy weapon hidden in a distant system, a relic from a forgotten civilization. If misused, it could destroy entire star systems. Ilara's chest tightened. She knew the mission ahead would demand every ounce of courage and ingenuity. Raj, alert the fleet, she commanded. We're leading a joint human Arvani mission. We cannot fail. Lieutenant Raj Patel nodded. Yes, Captain. This will be dangerous, but we're ready. A holographic shimmer appeared beside her, the familiar, commanding presence of Commander Kyle. His tone was calm, but his eyes betrayed the weight of responsibility. Ilara, the weapon's power is immense. Extremists from both our peoples may try to claim it. We must move carefully, but decisively. Ilara met his gaze. Together, Kyle. We've come this far. We face it together. Kyle nodded slowly, and for a brief moment, the words felt more than protocol. They were a promise, fragile yet unbroken. The mission began as the fleets approached the weapon's location, a barren planet circling a dim sun. The surface was cracked and jagged, covered in strange metallic structures. Sensors pulsed with energy readings far beyond anything the crews had seen before. Stay alert, Kyle said, his voice steady. We cannot underestimate the danger. One mistake, and many lives will be lost. Ilara led the landing team through treacherous terrain. The air was thin, and every step had to be measured. Strange energy arcs leapt across the metal landscape, making navigation hazardous. Hours into the mission, a group of extremists attacked, humans aligned with rogue Arvani factions. The clash was sudden and brutal. Ilara's team fought fiercely, combining human adaptability with Kale's precise strategies. Every decision mattered. Every move could mean life or death. During the battle, Kale was gravely injured while protecting a young Arvani soldier. Ilara's heart pounded as she rushed to his side. Kyle, stay with me! He smiled faintly, pain evident in his shimmering form. Captain, trust in the team. Trust in you. I will be fine. Ilara steadied him as the squad continued to fight off the extremists. Her hands shook, but her mind remained clear. Humans were known for courage under pressure, and she was determined to prove it. After intense combat, the extremists were defeated, retreating into the desolate planet's canyons. The weapon remained intact, but the cost was clear. Injured soldiers, exhausted teams, and the knowledge that every moment mattered. Kale looked at her, voice quiet. Ilara, you have saved more than lives today. You have inspired loyalty, bravery, and hope. I am honored to serve alongside you. Ilara felt her chest tighten. She wanted to tell him everything, how she felt, how this impossible bond had grown in the shadows of duty and danger. But words failed her. Instead, she nodded. We make a good team, Kyle. That is what matters now. They approached the central chamber of the weapon, a massive structure of alien metal and glowing conduits. The energy reading surged and the planet trembled under its immense power. Neutralizing it would require precision, cooperation, and courage beyond any previous mission. Kyle and Ilara led the operation. Ilara calculated the energy dispersal sequence, while Kyle synchronized Arvani technology with human instruments. Every step required trust. They could not afford mistakes. The chamber pulsed with energy, threatening to overwhelm them. Sparks danced along conduits, and the floor trembled beneath their feet. Kale extended a hand to Ilara. Together, Captain. One step at a time. Ilara grasped it, feeling the strength and steadiness he offered. Side by side, they completed the sequence, slowly neutralizing the weapon. The planet shuddered one final time before the energy stabilized, leaving only a faint hum. Exhausted, they leaned against the metallic walls, breathing heavily. Kale's hologram flickered softly. We did it. But the cost of this victory is more than physical. We have faced what few would dare, and yet the impossible bond between us grows stronger. Ilara's heart raced. She wanted to tell him that she shared that bond, that she felt the same impossible connection. But duty and law remained barriers. I feel it too, Kyle. But we cannot act on it. Not yet. Not now. Kyle's gaze softened, understanding in his eyes. Then we wait, and we trust that, in time, the future may allow what the present forbids. The fleet gathered once more, victorious but cautious. Humanity and Arvani had proven they could face threats together, not just survive, but protect and preserve. The story of bravery, ingenuity, and trust had grown stronger, inspiring both species. Later, as they watched the dim alien sunset, casting shadows across the jagged planet, Kale spoke quietly. Ilara, I have never met anyone like you. Not human, not Arvani. You are extraordinary. Ilara felt a warmth spread through her. And you, Kale. You are unlike anyone I have known. Even if we cannot be together as our hearts wish, we have changed the course of history. The two leaders shared a long, silent moment, the weight of duty pressing down. Yet the connection between them undeniable. They could not marry, they could not openly express their feelings, yet in the heart of danger, they had forged a bond stronger than law or protocol. As the fleets prepared to return to their respective territories, Ilara reflected on the sacrifices made. The mission had tested her courage, her judgment, and her heart. She realized that true strength lay not just in survival, but in the ability to care, to trust, and to hope, even when the odds seemed impossible. Kale's voice came through one final time before the fleet split. Captain Hayes, this is not the end. Whatever the future holds, know that you have my respect, my trust, and something more, even if it cannot be spoken. Ilara smiled faintly, her heart both heavy and full. And you, Kale, until we meet again, May our bond guide our people and protect what we hold dear. And in the vast, quiet stretch of space, humans and Arvani alike understood that courage, sacrifice, and the bonds formed in adversity were the true markers of greatness. Ilara and Kale's story was far from over. It was a tale of hope, trust, and the impossible connection that grew stronger with every challenge they faced. The fleets had returned from the anomaly planet, but Captain Ilara Hayes knew their challenges were far from over. Intelligence reports revealed a new threat. A rogue human faction had joined forces with extremists from the Arvani, seeking to claim advanced technology from a hidden facility in a nearby star system. If they succeeded, it could ignite a war across the sector. Ilara stood on the bridge of the Aurora, her eyes fixed on the holographic display. Raj, prepare the fleet. We leave immediately. This mission will require precision, and we cannot afford hesitation. Lieutenant Raj Patel nodded, alert and focused. Understood, Captain. But the Arvani forces... Commander Kale says we need to act carefully. The rogue faction may have advanced defenses. Ilara took a deep breath. Then, we combine their caution with our adaptability. That's how humans survive in space. By thinking fast and acting faster. Kale's holographic figure appeared beside her. His posture was formal, but his eyes carried a subtle intensity. Ilara, this mission is dangerous. Extremists may outnumber us. We must work together, trust one another, and remain vigilant. Ilara met his gaze, feeling the pull of something deeper than duty. Kyle, we've faced danger before, and we've survived. Together, we will do it again. The fleet moved into the target system. A barren planet with jagged mountains and metallic ruins came into view. The rogue faction had fortified key positions, blending human ingenuity with Arvani technology. Sensors indicate heavy energy fields in the facility, Kale said. Direct assault will be risky. We need a plan. Ilara considered the terrain and technology. We'll divide our teams. Small units infiltrate while the fleet provides support. Kale, your technology can neutralize the energy barriers. My crew will cover the approach. Kyle's holographic eyes softened. I trust your judgment, Captain Hayes. And I trust you. Ilara felt warmth at his words, but there was no time for sentiment. The mission demanded focus. As they landed, the team split. Ilara led her unit through the metallic corridors, navigating energy traps and rogue patrols. Kale's guidance came through the calm, precise and unerring. Every step they took was calculated, every decision critical. Suddenly, alarms blared. The rogue faction had detected their presence. Ilara signaled her team. Positions! Move fast! But stay coordinated. Kyle's voice cut through the chaos. Left flank blocked. Use ventilation shafts to bypass. I'll disable the energy fields ahead. Ilara nodded, trusting him completely. The humans moved with agility, slipping through narrow passages, while Kale remotely deactivated barriers, clearing a path toward the control center. Hours passed. The facility was a maze of metal and energy conduits. The rogue faction fought, fiercely, but human courage and Arvani precision gave them the edge. Ilara witnessed soldiers risking themselves for teammates, calculated strategies executed flawlessly, and Kale guiding every move with calm authority. At one point, Kale himself intervened, saving a young human technician from a collapsing support beam. Ilara ran to his side. Kale, are you okay? He brushed off the concern, shimmering slightly from minor energy discharge. I am fine. Focus on the mission, Captain. Her heart raced, torn between concern for him and the task at hand. She realized she had come to care deeply for Kale in ways she could not yet admit. But duty always came first. Finally, they reached the core of the facility, the energy control chamber. Pulsing with unstable power, it threatened to explode if mishandled. Ilara and Kale coordinated the neutralization sequence. Steady. Now, align the conduits, Kale instructed. Ilara adjusted the controls with precision, guided by his calm voice. Sparks flew. The room trembled, but together they succeeded in stabilizing the energy core. The threat was neutralized. Breathing heavily, Kyle looked at her. We have succeeded. Yet, every victory carries its own cost. The lives, the danger, and the choices we make. Ilara's chest tightened. She wanted to tell him what she felt, to admit the impossible connection growing between them. But words failed her. We did what we had to do, Kyle. That is all that matters. Kyle's eyes softened. Yes. And yet, I cannot ignore what lies between us. In another life, perhaps. But now we must remain true to duty. Ilara nodded, understanding the impossible reality. Duty bound them, yet the bond between them had deepened beyond words, forged through danger, trust, and shared courage. As the fleet prepared to depart, Kale extended his hand. Captain Hayes, we may be separated by law and custom, yet know this: your courage, your humanity, and your heart. They have changed me. Ilara grasped his hand firmly, feeling the unspoken connection. And you, Kale, you have shown me strength, honor, and a bond that cannot be ignored, even if we must hide it. The fleets departed the planet, leaving. The rogue faction defeated and the energy weapon neutralized. The mission had been perilous, testing every skill, every instinct, and every ounce of courage. Humans and Arvani had survived, proven, and strengthened their fragile alliance. Yet Ilara knew the story was not over. Kale's presence, the bond they shared, and the impossible feelings growing between them would continue to challenge duty, loyalty, and hearts. As the stars stretched endlessly around them, Ilara allowed herself a quiet thought. Courage was not just facing external danger. True courage was also facing the impossible within one's heart, trusting in what could not be controlled, and hoping that one day, perhaps, duty and desire could coexist. And so, with fleets moving across the Andromeda sector, humans and Arvani alike understood that their greatest strengths lay not in technology or weapons alone, but in bravery, trust, and the bonds formed when lives were tested against impossible odds. Ilara looked at the stars, thinking of Kyle. One day, perhaps, she whispered, though even she did not know what the future held. But in that moment, she knew the impossible bond between them was real, unbreakable, and strong enough to guide both their people through whatever challenges lay ahead.